Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to Sixx Daze. I am Bob Sixx, and today we're discussing, boy, was I surprised. You know, a lot of people like surprises, but they like the good surprises. They don't always want the bad ones. So the bad and funny ones, which are sometimes the same, that's the kind of surprises I'm talking about here today. The first one that I can clearly remember was I was in the second grade. My biological father had CQ. For those of you that don't know anything about military, that means working overnight, basically, in the Army. So he wasn't home. I was in the shower singing really loud. Second grader singing, not quality singing. My mom sent my brother in to tell me to stop. I said, okay, because I knew even in second grade that's the fastest way to get rid of someone. And as soon as he left, I started doing it again. Maybe even a little louder. When the bathroom door opened, I said, and when that shower curtain snatched open, and Bob, a biological father, was standing there and told me he didn't give a fuck what I was doing, I was told to shut up, and he popped me on my naked, wet ass 2 or 3 times. I didn't feel like singing anymore. I couldn't have been any more surprised if I had got out of that shower and saw fucking Santa Claus standing there. I was stunned because I was expecting my brother. Another one that involved him was me, my brother, and 2 cousins, and went way far from our house where we weren't supposed to be to the city park. And they used to have this little island, and the bridge, little walking bridge, that had been broke, but you could still make a leap and make it to the island. Well, the 3 of them were already on the island, and I was jumping the fence. I had jumped up on it, and I dropped an F-bomb. Now, they could have said something when Bob and my uncle walked up, or give me some sort of hint they were behind me, but they didn't. So when I jumped up on that fence and I dropped the F-bomb, Bob smacked me off the fence and told me I better fuck my ass to the house before they get there. We'd better beat him or we were going to be in trouble. I don't think if Jesus himself had knocked me off that fence, I'd have been any more surprised. We beat him to the house because they went and got more beer and went riding around for longer. Settled down. It was the 70s. It was a whole different damn time. I was pretty surprised when I was 14 and I discovered masturbation. Everybody always thinks it's a joke when I tell them the story. It really was an accident. But I knew I liked it. And I wasn't going to stop. So began my long career. But I don't know why I threw that one in there other than, man, I was surprised. When that thing went off, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to like this. One of my favorite, 2 of my favorite, I'm going to tell you 2, actually the next 4 stories I'm going to tell you. I love all 4 of them, and I'm going to tell you from number 4 to number 1, my top story. My 4th, boy was I surprised story, was back in the day. I had sold a half sheet of acid to someone. It's nighttime. Me and Carla and my friends are on the way there. I had taken a drink, and I can't remember if I hit a bump or whatever, but I spilled it on me. Not thinking about it. The acid was in my cigarette pack, in the cellophane. So I went to get a cigarette. The cigarette was wet, so I flicked it out the window. I got another one. It was wet, so I flicked it out the window. And after about the 3rd or 4th one, I just threw the entire pack of cigarettes out the window. Got to the person's house, and they had the money. I didn't have no acid. Man, there was 5 of us alongside that road. It was an old country road. not far from where I live right now. We had the headlights on, and we're all out there with cigarette lighters and stuff. How hard can it be to find a pack of cigarettes alongside the road? Pretty damn hard, because we never found it. Number 3. Boy, was I surprised. I call this story the Tea Waterfall. It involved a friend of mine who I'm friends with still to this day. He probably won't see this video, but I'm still not going to use his name. I will call him Chris. I know multiple Chris's, so y'all will know which one it is. He has kind of a big nose. We're at Fort Lewis, Washington. We're sitting on my bed. I'm on the phone to my girlfriend, and he's sitting there listening. Not in a creepy way, just what does your best friend do? And you start talking to your girlfriend. Just sits there usually. Anyways, he was drinking tea, and I can't remember what I said. Now, this is back with landline phones, and this was a tabletop phone. So that was sitting on my bed, and I said something so funny right as he started to drink. Tea shot out both of his nostrils all over the phone. I tried forever to get that phone clean, but the buttons stuck, even when me cleaning it with rubbing alcohol. My mom was like, the next day, something's wrong with the phone. I was like, what? I knew what was wrong. I didn't tell her until I was a grown man what happened. Yeah, I was really surprised. That tea come pouring out of his nose. I remember it as if it happened yesterday. And I was, what, 17? So 35 years ago? My number 2, boy, was I surprised moment. Me and my first wife had just finished exercising, and this was during the 80s, and a lot of guys wore them. They would take a bandana and they roll it a certain way and wear it as a necklace. My brother had this hot pink one, and it's okay for guys to wear, especially if you can kick everyone's ass, or most people's ass. And it was on the coffee table. It was the nearest thing. So I unrolled it, and we used that to clean up the exercise moisture. I went throwing the dirty clothes. My brother was going to a concert that night, and he came in. We're sitting on the couch watching TV. He goes to the bathroom, comes out wearing that bandana necklace. Y'all may be surprised to know that I didn't stop him. I didn't even say anything. I didn't tell him till, I think, years later. Yeah, I'm a great brother. Okay, my number 1, boy, was I surprised moment. And I'm pretty sure I've told this story before, but it was back when I only had like 14 subscribers, so not many people have heard it. Me, my best friend, and another good friend were day drinking at the other good friend's house. He's passed on, but his children are still alive, so out of respect, I'll call him Clark. You know, as in Clark Kent. I'll just call him Clark. So me, my best friend, and Clark were day drinking. Southern Comfort and Dr. Pepper. We're getting pretty lit up, and I can't remember what caused it, but I said something about a wedgie, and Clark said, "Oh no, you won't." Come on now. You know, everybody knows, you don't tell when there's 3 drunk guys drinking. One drunk guy can't tell the other 2 drunk guys you're not going to do something. So we went to give him a wedgie. Clark fought as if this was his first night in population in prison, and he was fixed to get ass raped. I mean, he was fighting hard. And no, I can't even say that that should have been a red flag. We were day drinking, we were all pretty tore up. We got him pinned down, and when I reached in the back of his pants and grabbed his drawers and pulled, and there was no tension whatsoever. And I could almost stand up holding these light blue panties. I'm 6'1", been 6'1" since I was 14. And they weren't quite that big, but I probably could have stretched them over his head easily. But when I pulled them out, I was just like, let me do a quick sidebar here. Clark was about that big around. His wife, Lois Lane, was not. Anything I say to describe how big she was will sound ugly. So I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say she was much, much bigger than Clark. So as soon as I realized what was going on, I just let go. And he jumped up and he ran down the hallway. Them panties flapping behind him like Superman's cape. I guess when he got the parachute folded back up and back in his pants, well, a cape, but I'm saying parachute because that's the only way I can imagine you getting it into your pants is folding them like a parachute. In hindsight, me and my best friend should have left, but we didn't. When he sat there at the table drinking in silence, he slowly made his way back down the hallway and said, I can explain. I said, and you don't have to explain anything to us. Let's not talk about it ever again. And he said, no, you need to know. It's laundry day, and all of my underwear are dirty, so I wore a pair of Lois's. You know, if your significant other is that much larger than you, why don't you go commando instead? I mean, that's just my thought. Have you ever had one of those moments where you were surprised and it wasn't necessarily a good surprise? It was a bad one or a funny one? If you have, drop a comment below because I'd love to hear it. I just shared a whole bunch of stuff with you. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I can take a thumbs down. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. At least I know you've watched it and you've decided you don't like it. If you're so inclined, I'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button right over there and click that bell so you get notifications every time I post a new video, which is usually every Tuesday and Thursday, unless life prevents me from doing it. So until next time, have a great day. Make someone laugh if you get the chance. I am Bob Sixx.